It's hot. But hello. It's hot here too. Ah, we're all in the heat. Very hot. Stay safe and cool. You too. I do have a fan running. Hopefully it doesn't make too much noise. I also have a little fan next to my tablet in case that gets too hot. But I've put it away from the microphone, so hopefully that's not too bad. Hey, how are we all doing? I forgot. I just read Kira's explanation of the Gungaga. I forgot we called that character Sonic in the Drawthrough. Oh, not Sonic. Sorry, Shadow. You can't hear any of it over your fan. No. 35 degrees. I don't know what it is. Not 35 here. It's like 30, but... Foul. Chicken. I think we did. I think so, yeah. I think it was Sonic and Shadow. Can't recall immediately because that one, there's no record of that one. But, well, I mean, I've got the files. But we can look through it if we want. But we won't. Because time.
Need a key.
Need a key? What sort of key? A delicious, nice, cool, refreshing drink key. Posture checked already, bloody hell. Do we need a drinky? Everybody get a drinky. How's the cheap? Drink is good. I have a couple as usual.
Drinky.
Drinky, you know how to say that? Oh, also that is over the thing. I can fix that. Hang on, what does that look like there? That's not right. Okay, I'm scared to touch it now. We'll just leave it there. It's hot. It's very hot. It's very, very hot today. Real parched. Real sticky. Most unpleasant. But hopefully soon. Hang on, let me have a look at the weather. When's it going to cool down? Soon, hopefully. Oh, good. The earliest next Tuesday. Great. Wonderful. Oh dear. Other than that, you're good. Finally finished 3rd October draw. Watch my videos during dinner. Oh, hope you enjoyed. Yay, good work on the draws. I spent most of the day being too hot to do anything and then rushed a full shaded sketch of the next October drawing in half an hour. And I'm like, that's not how I should be working. Good news for today. You bought yourself a rubber ball and worked on some of the knots out of your back with it. Hooray! That's good. Getting good in the healths. I kept saying once we get the treadmill back, I'm gonna get on that and start doing more stuff on that. And then it kept getting too hot. Whose stupid idea was it to put a treadmill in a conservatory? Maybe I need to get in there like really early. You've managed to virtually no work. Well, I'm glad I've also managed virtually no work. I honestly considered making a stream a game stream. I was just so lacking in confidence of my ability to draw at all. But apparently I can, so. The weather disagreed, yes. Very valid. Haven't drawn anything to that. I have. Granted, I started about an hour ago. So it's like a warm-up, you know? But we should be good. Right, let's set things up for streams. Kerswoosh. Kerswunch. You don't need to see the now playing because we know it's my stuff. Gonna play some Pokemons during the stream. Yeah, Plamps and Scoliosis. I don't know the nuts. Yee. Hi, Christy. I don't know why I said your name so weirdly. Hi, Christy. It's very uncomfortable, but sorted. Improved. Pamps and scoliosis. I feel like this is reminding me of the fact that they keep getting caught out by the posture bot. Shrimp checked. They defeated the second gym. Nice. Tempted to play some Final Fantasy 9 during the stream, see if you can win that card tournament. I need to play because I stopped. Well, I haven't really played much past where we are. I want to refresh my memory so that I'm accurately telling the story. If we go too far during the stream, I'm just gonna have to work it out as we go along. Because there's a bit coming up that's a bit like silly, and it's yeah. Didn't play it earlier, but tempted. I believe in you. Take Christie's name the way Hazel says divorce. That's fine. Anywho, quick recap of what happened last time. General overview. In an attempt to work out what's going on with the mysterious Mr. Swan in providing magical arms for the now genocidal queen, we have traveled to a different continent and we have discovered a small village which is inhabited entirely by a 6-year-old and 6 Moogles. And yeah, last time we went into the village a little further and we found an area that has a bunch of paintings on the wall, and these are paintings of eidolons, summoned creatures of great magical power, including the things that the queen has been using to destroy things, as extracted from Princess Butterknife.
I'm gonna fucking die here, Jack!
I mean, spoilers. Hi, Doc, how you doing? Yeah, so we got this. This is the thing, and the princess is like, I can summon these things, and this is a village full of summoners. This is weird. This is the other side of the world. Then we are told about a big old tree. Not too far away. Well, far enough away that we can't see it. But a big old tree called the koi flower tree. And that is a place where there was a powerful eidolon locked away with another eidolon. But it is also a place that is people have seen Mr. Swan flying back and forth from on the dragon, people being the dwarves from before. Yeah, and we can't get in because it's been sealed up by the summoners. However, little 6-year-old Betty is quite happy to try and open it up for us in exchange for Simeon going on a date with her because she's 6 years old and she has a crush. So we go there and we discover that its roots are sort of stretching all around and underground and all that sort of stuff. And it's also spraying out mist, which is unusual because while the continent we come from is covered in this stuff, this place has barely any. And mist is what creates monsters. So we're like, oh, that's interesting. So we attempt to get through the magical barrier. Simeon does by body slamming it. He fails. Luckily, little Betty's here to dispel the barrier and withdraw the eidolon that was being used to seal it all away, which I think was Fenrir. I can't remember now.
Stop. No dates.
No dates. No dates. Yeah. How are you, Doc? You alright? You enjoying space? Carbuncle, that was it, yeah, because we were like, Carbuncle, the thing that reflects stuff. That makes sense. Anyway, yeah, so thanks to her, we gain access. She was reluctant to come here because she was told by her granddad, hey, don't leave the village till you're like 16. Try and look after the place. They've got like some heirlooms and things like that. She's like, well, yeah, but these guys want to go, so I'm going to go. We get inside the tree and we find this weird platform. Simeon, I was about to say jumps on it, but honestly it just looks like he's constipated. He jumps on it. Turns out it's an elevator. It's a lift. The carbuncle ate itself. What does that mean? And it turns out it's an elevator that goes down into the roots of this strange tree. And we've in there we find a big old rotating leaf spinning lift. It's all very strange and unusual. Not what you would expect to find inside a random tree. Space is too damn big. It is rather large, I've heard. And down at the bottom of that, we find a big old glowing green pit of some sort of mysterious fluid, and this strange harp-like structure. Did I draw us for scale on this? Let me draw us for scale on this. Here we go. Probably exaggerated it slightly, but it's still big. Did anyone clip through the elevator and fall to their death? No. Is there much clipping in Final Fantasy? Well, Final Fantasy 7 there is. I kept doing it accidentally recently. Good old pixel draws. That's what they call me. Good old pixel draws, because I'm I don't know, what's a sexual innuendo that would work with, like... The best I can come up with is because I've got 8 bits. That doesn't make any sense. Anyway. So yes, we find this inside the tree and it's all very weird. And then we get assailed by a big old tree thing that is very mysterious and doesn't actually speak. It sort of telepathically communicates through our minds and says, I've been here for thousands of years. I am the keeper of this place. What the hell do you want? And we ask it a few questions and it explains that the mist is being created here, although that's not really the purpose of this tree, or whatever's going on in this tree. The mist is a bit of a byproduct, but the mist does do something cool, which is makes people fight monsters. Because it makes monsters. And when people fight monsters, they get used to fighting. And when they get used to fighting, they're more likely to fight each other. Yeah. Why do they want that to happen? They seem quite keen on it, though. But they also point out that this is actually producing all the mist. All the mist that we see. If you go back to the mist continent, there's a bunch of tree roots sticking up through the ground. That's this tree. And if we destroy this guardian, the mist also goes away. And the mist was what was creating the black mages. So Vivi's like, oh god, I'm going to technically commit genocide on my people if I do this. But at the same time, they're only being manufactured for war. So we've met a few nice ones, but, you know, it's a limited thing going on here. Fight, fight, fight! But anyway, eventually we just decide, you know what, we need to take this thing down because it's apparently affiliated with Mr. Swan, and that's probably a bad thing. We don't really know what we're doing here, but we think we're doing good, and that's the important thing. We then fight it, by which I mean we throw an elixir at its face and it dies. This clears up all of the mist from around the tree, so it's not misty anymore. I'll go back. No, hang on. There we go, it was misty. Now it isn't. Ah, the wonder of editing. So that's cool. That's neat. Still no sign of Mr. Swan. Don't know where he's gone. I say where he's gone. We haven't actually seen him since the... When did we last see him? Well, he was in the castle when we rescued the princess, I think. Yeah, that was the last time we saw him. It was also the last time we saw Nox and James and Jesse. But anyway. So yes, we've cleared all this up, and we return back to the Summoner Village because a Moogle comes along and goes, oh my god, someone's stolen something, and they come back and then, oh no, the family heirloom has been stolen while Betty was away. Oh no, she feels really bad about it. Buy your mist to be gone today for only $99.99 gil. Terms and conditions apply. See in store for details. Prices may be higher. So yeah, they've stolen the family jewels. Not the metaphorical ones, literal ones. It's pretty cheap in game anyway. Yeah, you can buy like a potion for that. Yeah. So like, oh my god, who stole this? Who stole this? And she blames herself, and we're like, hey, it's not your fault. Someone came here and stole it. Who was it? It's this person. Harold? I think we called him Harold. This is a bounty hunter, as hired by Queen Helga to track down not the princess, but the jewel, the the falcon hoof. What's it called? Ravenclaw. Falcon claw. Falcon. Kill Jester. 50 milliliter spray bottles. Yeah. Falcon's claw. That's the one. That's a family. Not a family. A royal. It's crown jewels basically, and she has it, and the queen wants it back. And so she's hired a couple of bounty hunters to try and get it back. Harold arrives here and is like, well, there's more jewels here, I'll nick them while I'm here. Also, this child I will take hostage so that I can use it as a bargaining chip to get the jewel back from the princess. This doesn't go quite to plan because the other bounty hunter jumps in and just thwacks Harold on the floor and is like, you don't kidnap kids, stop it. This is the other bounty hunter, I believe we're called Knuckles. Knuckles from Van Sonic. I think that's what we called him. Speaking of Sonic characters, yeah, we have in the draw-throughs, we have now had Sonic, Shadow, and Knuckles. Have we had a Tails? Not yet. Next draw-through, Tails and Amy, the main characters. Final Fantasy X. Actually, probably the next passive draw-through we do might be Metal Gear Solid 2, so we'll see. Which also could work, actually, yeah. We could do it in that too. Anyway. Yes, so this other bounty hunter arrives and knocks the person out and is like, no, well, it doesn't knock her out, just knocks her to the side. And it's like, you don't kidnap kids. Get out of it. I'll do this. And she runs away with a metaphorical tail between her legs. And if you draw them as Tails and Amy, everyone else is normal. I mean, yeah, could do. That's gonna make a scene later on a bit weird. Anyway, yeah, and so Knuckles drops in and he stares at Simeon and is like, "You, one-on-one. Let's deal with this. Do it properly, fair." And Simeon's like, sure, why not? And they have a bit of a fight and a bit of a scuffle. And Simeon wins because it's a game and you're the protagonist. And Knuckles is like, right, you won, finish the job. And Simeon's like, I'm not gonna kill you, you're weird. And Knuckles gets really, really annoyed that Simeon won't kill him. And jumps off in a huff. Like, it's not the rules. And Simeon's like, what do you mean rules? Go away. We just wanted the thing back. We're all safe now. Have a good day. Bye. That's why it's such a good blitzball. Tail propulsion. Yeah, that's the secret to the jet shot. So yeah, we got the thing back. Everyone's safe. We've fended off with the one and a bit bounty hunters. And we return the... no, we don't return the family jewel to its rightful place. We actually fashion it into an earring in order to keep it with us at all times so that we don't leave it behind and have it stolen again, because that would be an issue. Meanwhile, well, not meanwhile, but shortly after this... Oh, another thing I should probably point out, this is not extraordinarily important, but Betty also while Betty was kidnapped, what was the name of her best friend? The Moogle? Almond? Not Almond. Pistachio? I can't remember. Hang on a minute. Pistachio? I think it was Pistachio. Pistachio, yes. These two, they're best friends. Pistachio ran away because Pistachio's a bit of a coward. However, Betty eventually forgives her, and they talk about how they're best friends and they're the same age. And they have little matching ribbons. Or I guess in the drawings that I've been doing, matching cat ears. But little Pistachio's too small to wear them, so when they're all grown up, they will wear them together. Just thought I'd point that out, because it is mentioned again at some point. Not hugely important, but... Anyway. After this happens, Princess Butterknife goes off for a walk. And by a walk, I mean to sit in a boat. And starts singing to herself that song that she hears, that she knows, that is sort of... Whenever we hear it, we're like, oh yeah, that's the princess. And Simeon's like, aha, princess, I will find her. And he goes down and gets in the boat with her and starts chatting to her, and the boat sort of floats out to sea, and he starts telling of a story. Well, she asks him, why are you here? Why are you doing this? You could have stopped doing anything at Lindblom. Why are you still, you know, engaged in all this? And he tells a very long and interesting story that had a fantastic payoff about somebody who followed someone else because they felt like it. Music's a little loud. Yes, sing your theme song, but turns out it's not her theme song, because as they're drifting away in the boat, she hears the song elsewhere. She hears Betty singing the song up in the thing, and as she looks up into the town on the side of the hill, she has memories, flashes of past times, right back to the beginning where we saw the cutscene of the raft splashing around in the waters. She looks up and she sees, oh god, there's a storm, and it turns out the storm has a big eye in it, and it was here. This was the memory, this was the dream that she was having right at the start. It was here, this place. And upon that realization, she collapses in the boat while Simeon is still saying his story. So yeah, she has a bit of a faint. And that's what happened last time. These recaps are getting longer, you know. But that's fine, because I don't know how much there is to talk about today, because reasons. Pistachio, who sounds like a trombone instead of a whistle. So, after a bit of recovery,
this is the 10th time that's happened when I try to tell this story.
maybe you should give up on the story, eh? So yes, eventually the princess wakes up again, and everyone's very worried about her, and it's like, what's going on? What's going on? And she mentions, like, I remember this place. I've been here before. I was here when I was a child. That memory that I have of the waves crashing, that was out here, and the person on the raft was me and my mother. And she don't look anything like Helga. Just as a quick reminder. This was the person on the raft. Funnily enough, put them in a hood. That's the person on the raft. And I know exactly where I can get a picture of Queen Helga. Oh, I zoomed in on that. Okay. That's Queen Helga. They all look very similar. Yep, that's the one. Of course I was going for that one. So there's some shenanigans going on. The shenanigans being that the princess thinks memory's still fuzzy and hazy, both. Of course. That she comes from here originally, and when she was young, she was on a boat, a storm came, this place got destroyed, which corroborates with Betty's story of the fact that everyone died. I guess it was 10 years ago, wasn't it? So I guess this happened when she was 6? She's 16 now. Anyway. But yeah, this makes sense as to why she knows the song that is from here. The special song. It makes sense as to why she has memories of this place. It makes sense as to why she can summon and no one else can. These Eidolon things. This is the village of summoners. Makes sense. It's the supposed father ever shown, because genetics would have to do a whole lot of lifting in a number of ways. No. I don't know, actually. King Alexandra? I don't know what he's called. I have a picture in my head, but I think that's someone else. There might be a painting in the thing somewhere. Can't see anything in the wiki. Someone else might have to look that up. That could be a painting, exactly. So yeah, she's just like, I think this is where I come from. And Betty's like, where's your horn? I have a horn. To which she's like, I don't know. Maybe, what do we call him? Professor Preddy Prozan. Maybe he knows. You know, he's my close tutor for all my years in Alexandria. Very exciting music happening, despite the fact they're just having a lovely chat around the table. Queen is a thick lady by comparison. She wasn't always big and blue, as far as I know. Can't remember that anyway. It's very vaguely mentioned that the father died a year prior. That's about it, really. Yeah, but Betty's absolutely thrilled by this. She's like, I'm not alone. I have friends and family. Your family now. She's very excited. Oh yeah, and she also remembers as a child, now that she's here, she remembers going to the Eidolon wall and praying every day. That was the thing that she completely forgot. But now she saw it there. The volume is permanently set to max. Yes. She's a 6-year-old, of course. They have no volume control. Sorry, children in draw-throughs, they have big eyes. And so they're like, so everyone's like, well, so Queen Helga isn't your mum? You don't have a genocidal mum? And she's like, well, she still raised me. And she was nice prior to the genocide. I can attest to that. So yeah, she's got some conflicting emotions about her now 2 mothers and no fathers. This game mentions 2 mothers and no fathers. I don't even think it mentions the summoner father. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, we're like, oh, the mixed feelings, but she still does actually have affection for her genocidal adoptive mother. Yeah, my mom was nice before the genocide. Is a mood. Yeah, look, so people change. It's tricky times. Does anything else happen? I think they just talk about this for a bit. The sort of repercussions of discovering this, and I mean, honestly, the fact that nobody else can summon massive monsters really doesn't have the innate ability to summon the massive creatures, except the people who come from here, and the fact that I don't know. It feels like this realization probably could have come 2 scenes ago, but it happens now. That's the important bit. Yee. So that happens, and that's nice, and that's all good. And we're like, oh, interesting. Maybe we could learn a little bit more from the books here, and maybe also bring over Professor Preddy Prozan, because he's always been interested in the summoning and the summoners and all that sort of stuff. And also, interestingly, I seem to recall one of Betty's attempts to woo Simeon. She says something that sounds very romantic, very poetic. And she's like, I bet you didn't think I was that smart. And I was like, yeah, we know the play that's from. What? Oh, boo. And it's one of Lord Avon's plays. Lord Avon being the one who wrote the play that was being performed at the beginning of the game. And they remark, how did these books get here? Why do they have books of these plays? I mean, these plays are old. They're really old. And people knew that there was this continent, you know, before the sort of Age of Mist or whatever, but, you know, seems a bit weird. But anyway, just thought I'd point that out. Pistachio is also happy about this. You're playing FF9 right now, you gave it. You can do it, I believe in you. Right, so that happens. Backstory, marvelous times. Now forward story. We stay the night, have a bit of a rest. Butter Knife and Betty, Betty and Butter. Betty's butter. Betty Butter bought some butter. Anyway, good pistachio. They are cute and floof. Yeah, they you know, they go over things and Betty tells Butter Knife all about, you know, the history that she knows. She's 6 years old, so she doesn't know a lot, but she was told a lot by her grandfather. And they walk around and they talk about things and all that sort of stuff. And Simeon and Vivi have a little bit of time to themselves. Vivi's still a bit like about the whole getting rid of the mist thing and there being no more black mages anymore. So yeah, there's some nice sort of dialogue of people bonding and having a nice time and all that sort of stuff. And Quimch is presumably somewhere eating or cooking. Actually, I do believe there was a point at which Quimch just sort of jumped into a waterfall because there might have been fish in there. Such is the way of Quimch. Anyway, Quimch is always somewhere, watching you and your food. So then, now that we've sorted out, you know, the kidnapping and the stealing of the stuff and all that sort of stuff, it's time to go back to the tree, back to the cauliflower tree, and wait there for Mr. Swan, because that's literally the best plan we have. And let me grab... That's Quimch. Ah! Grab this. So yes, Betty decides that she's going to follow us. She's going to leave the village and come with us on our journey now that she knows she's not alone. Butter Knife is a summoner as well, comes from the same tribe. She's going to follow us on our journey, because everyone likes that. Quimch, your child. And so she says goodbye to all the Moogles and all that sort of stuff who I've just erased. And we have an emotional farewell scene and all that sort of stuff. And then... Knuckles shows up. And he's like, you, Monkey Tail. So what do you want now? You're being a nuisance, you know that. Does a slow-mo hair flip. On a slow-mo hair flip by Knuckles would, like, break masonry. His hidden attack is Hair Whip. It does blunt damage. I don't think I've drawn him the same twice. He's like, you, Monkey Tail. So he's like, my name's Simeon, thank you very much. There are one explanations. Why didn't you kill me? Because why would I? What is your problem? I was like, I lost the fight, the weak lose, the strong win. The strong go on, the weak die. That's what happens. That is the natural order of things. Why did you break that? I was like, you really believe that? You really think that's how everything has to be? It's not a matter of believing, it is. Right, okay. Tell you what. How about this? Come with us. Then everyone else in the party is like, what? What? What are you talking about? This guy tried to kill you. Someone's like, no, trust me. You, come with us. Maybe, if you follow us, see what we're doing, why we're doing it, you'll come to understand. Through practice, because words clearly aren't sinking in through that massive head of matted hair. Simeon, you look weird from the side. Yeah, come with us. Follow. You might understand a little bit about friendship and working together and all that sort of stuff. He's like, I do not understand you. You're a very strange person. Sure, I'll come with you. I ain't got anything better to do. Why not? And so, for what might be one of the worst reasons for anyone joining the party in any of the Final Fantasy games, and that includes J-Max. Knuckles joins. Don't know why I'm drawing you well. I'm not. Well, I'm not drawing well, am I? But you know what I mean. Not quickly. That's what I meant. Good for him. No, well. Join us on our adventure. Why not? More's the merrier. Wait, what? You're weird. A lot of people tell me that. So Knuckles joins, and this I think is the first part in the game where you have more than 4 characters. Or you get to choose between more than 4 characters, because we now have Simeon, Vivi, Betty, Butterknife, Quimch, and Knuckles. And you get to choose your layout of party. But yeah, so he's here now. Don't know where we are in the story, but it feels really late for another person to join. This is... Spoilers, I guess. This is the last person to join. We're approaching... Are we approaching the end of Disc 2? I think the end of Disc 2 is the next bit, right? I think so. Anyway, yeah. So this is where we gained a Knuckles. He has big hands and he punches things with spikes on his hands. Somehow he's human despite everything to the contrary. Look, if Helga can be human, so can Knuckles. Right. I'm gonna turn on my little auxiliary fan to cool down my tablet. Hopefully it doesn't make too much noise. Yeah, we're near the end of disc 2. Cool. And the game has like 4 discs, but the last disc is mostly just the end section. Usually like cutscenes take up a lot of space on the old PS1 disc. So, yeah. So now we trot along back to the cauliflower tree and see what's going on. And we arrive. Let me get a picture of the tree back, because it's relevant. I have lost the tree. That's the wrong stream. That's why. Gib tree. There we go. So we arrive back at the tree to see, conveniently, for the purposes of actually moving the plot along, a feathered dragon flying along, much like the one that we saw Mr. Swan riding on before. It doesn't have arms, so it's probably not a dragon, so I'm going to call it a worm. Spoilers, it is actually him on it. We're going to meet him in a second, it's not that much spoilers. He's there. That's just sort of flapping its way, but also, because the sea's here, it's a scaly goose. There is a small armada of boats. With like cannons. They've got sails because obviously steam mist doesn't work here. Doesn't work anywhere anymore. How small are we talking? Pretty big. Not a small armada of geese. Sorry. Yeah, a bunch of ships on the horizon, all with big cannons pointing roughly in the vicinity of the tree. And we're like, well, this is interesting. Let's follow the guy on the dragon, see if that's Mr. Swan, and see what's going on. So we get to the tree and we realize that actually he's flown to the top of the tree and we're on the bottom of the tree, and there was a lift down, but there ain't no lift up. And so we're like, well, okay then. How do we do this? Simeon's really good at jumping. Turns out Knuckles is also very good at jumping. But as for everyone else, yeah. However, Simeon has a realization. He has a clever idea. Observant Simeon. He notices that around all of these, well, where else have we seen a lot of roots winding around? Except everywhere on the Mist Continent, but a specific location that we've seen it. I'll have this as an open quiz because that gives me time to draw. The forest where March got turned to stone, there were a lot of vines. I don't think there were roots necessarily. I'm sure there were roots, it's a forest, but... There were yes, there were plants. I'm not actually expecting anyone to remember because I don't know how much I emphasized it when it happened and it's not particularly important, but we have seen it several times. Proportions, they're difficult. He realizes that in and around all of these roots and stuff, what we're walking on, there are flowers. Flowers, what are very similar to the flowers that you use to stop gargants as they run around on networks of tree roots underground. The big old insect friends, what carry you underground. And he's like, these plants were here. We used these to stop the gargants so that we could hop on them. So, theoretically, the plants are here, so must there be gargants. So if we get some of the plants and we hold them up there, eventually we will find a gargant, we'll hop on, and then we'll get to the top of the tree. As he's saying this, Knuckles just sort of grabs Vivi and Betty and jumps away. He's like, your idea's stupid, I'm gonna jump, bye! I wanted to include that because I completely forgot about it and it made me laugh when I was playing through recently. It's like, Simeon comes up with this plan and he's really proud of his observation that there are gargant flowers here. And it's like, that must mean there are gargants. And cut to Knuckles jumping away. And so Simeon's like, well, okay then. Piggyback princess? Yeah, Knuckles is to the point. Currently running around redacted fighting NPCs for their cards. You can buy cards at the thing, but they're not good. So yeah, Princess gets on Simeon and they hop up and jumping commences. And we hop all the way up to the top of the tree, where we find, believe it or not, I know this is going to sound a bit weird, we find Mr. Swan. Oh, yes. He's here! Who'd have thought? Finally, something that actually relates to the main part of the game. He's here with his Dargon. Mr. Swan and his goose. And he's here waxing all poetic about, like, oh, we come to the confrontation that we've been waiting for so long. Little does anybody know the magnitude of what will happen, etc., etc. Except me, of course, because I'm amazing. Oh yeah, God, please. And he sees our little party running up, or jumping, or being jumped up the roots, and he's like, ah, a little warm-up. Before I deal with the pesky invasion. Goose! Swan, swan, goose. Yeah, and we get here, and we have a little chat with Mr. Swan. Lovely chat. A trash son, if you will. Talks about everything in terms of its poetry, uses very overly flowery language. Has a superiority complex. That kind of thing, you know? I believe he also says the words, I'll show the old man, but that's incidental. So yeah, we're not actually close enough to him to fight him because we don't want to jump anymore, I guess. But we're down here somewhere. I won't draw everybody looking at him. But we have this little conversation. He has a nice chat, and he explains what's going on. Because that armada down there, that's the Queen's there, Queen Helga. She has decided, now that she has conquered the entirety of the main continent, that she's going to have a crack at some more continents. And now that she's got all this power, she's got the power of the Eidolons and all that sort of stuff, she doesn't need this pesky arms dealer anymore. He actually poses a bit of a threat. So if we just get rid of him, job sorted. No one's going to got wiped out by a combi. Oh no. She wouldn't do well a countdown. What else is this joke? Only taking continents. Ah! There we go. Continents, you can spell. That's fine. Crit gust on scoliosis, and there was nothing Plamps can do. Aww. Good try though. Thank you. Yeah. So she's basically come here to kill Mr. Swan because he's the only thing that is kind of close in power to her because he supplied the Black Mages and information about summons and all that sort of stuff. So she gets rid of him, No one else is going to get that. That's all hers now. You lost a card game to a very small child. This, yeah. Games are hard. Should I say the card? So yeah, and we get a little cutaway of... That keeps happening. Why does that keep happening? Of... How am I going to do this? I'm going to do it like this. Splash, splash. There's a tree in the background. Mountains and such. Get a little thing of the Queen going, I'm gonna get you, Mr. Swan, you're the last thing between me and total world domination. Ha ha ha. She's having a great time flapping her fan around. She loves that fan. How do you hold a fan? And she gives an order. She gives an order because there's a bunch of black mages on all these ships, the ones that haven't come to their senses. And she gives an order for all of them to charge up one massive attack, one big boom. Rather than lots and lots and lots of little fireballs, so they get a big old thing. And meanwhile, she's gonna get ready a big old summon. Where did she get this one from? I can't remember. Anyway, I guess there are several places that she's got jewels from, but whatever. Yeah, so she's like, everybody fire like supporting fire. Shoot the cannons and all that sort of stuff. Protect the black mages as they do their big old spell. And all the black mages are like... charging up their big spirit bomb or whatever it is they're going to do. Just hundreds and hundreds of them spread out throughout this big armada, just all focusing into one big fireball, which we don't actually see because graphical limitations. She had that from Butterknife. She didn't get all of her summonings back. Okay. She did have a few. Butterknife did have a few at the beginning of the game, but I've forgotten what they were. So it makes sense. Yeah, so she knows Swan's here, she's after Swan, she wants to destroy Swan, etc, etc. And Swan is being very lackadaisical about this. Is going, you know, oh, the Elephant Queen, she doesn't know a thing, she doesn't know what she's dealing with. Mere trinkets and toys and baubles. And Butterknife is like, yeah, that's my mum you're talking about. And he's like, no it isn't, you know that now. And she says, well, she's my adoptive mum, she was nice, she looked after me, you corrupted her, you did this, you've caused all this destruction. He's like, I haven't caused anything. I gave her some tools with which to achieve her goals. She did what she wanted, none of that's on me. The greed was there from the start. So he's being very, like, gaslighty. He's like, I didn't do anything. I've not played a part in this whatsoever. Naughty trash son. Gatekeep Gaslight Girl Boss. My favorite Pokemon evolution. What is that? Bloody aardvark. Anyway. Yeah, so this is all happening, and then he... Okay, so this is just a weird thing, a little aside. I sold the man the knife and told him how to use it. Who they stab is up to them. Exactly. That's exactly what he says. Word for word. Except none of those words. But the gist. There's something you're thinking of, but a knife gets it. Oh, okay. Scoliosis is evolving into hunchback? What? I don't know anything about scoliosis. Well, hopefully that'll help you with the combi. Yes. So he then said, little round boy. Oh, yeah. They turn into a wheel, don't they? Not an actual wheel, miss. Don't get angry. Anyway, yes. So he says all this, and we have a lovely chat. And he actually sort of agrees with Knuckles' whole thing of like, you know, the weak die, the strong survive, etc., etc. And Knuckles is like, oh, that makes sense. You guys, you're idiots. This guy knows what's up. But after that, oh, and Vivi also has a go at him for sort of turning the black mages into instruments of war, and he's like, again, I didn't do that. I told people how to make them. That's it. But hey, you enjoying your sentience? That's thanks to me. Most annoying part of this, every time you win a card, you always need to go back to the Moogle and save, because every time you don't and you fight 2 NPCs consecutively without saving, you always lose the second fight. It's a fun time. Don't worry, the card game in this Final Fantasy IX is the best. It's the best. It's the best. It's not. It's not good. But then he says, well, that was a lovely warm-up. Anyway, bye. And then he flies off. Now, I speculate at this point, you were supposed to fight him. I think that was what was supposed to happen at this point in the game, but for some reason they cut it. So you could just imagine we had a bit of a fight. Doesn't matter. But anyway, he flies off. He flies off on his little Durgan. You think so too? Yeah. This part is sort of conspicuously absent of something like that, but hey, whatever. Flies off on his goose friend. They have a little swish around while the cannons keep flying, and he sort of deftly dodges them all. And he's like, "This is all very silly." Not at all taking this seriously. Just drew him with a collar. Does he have a collar? I don't know. He doesn't. Goose does. Goose is doing a lot of good work. Swishing and swooshing and flooping and flapping and blah, wee, wow, ho. Good Goose. However, when all the black mages, yeah, Goose is the real ace flyer, yeah. When all the black mages have gathered their power together into their big energy ball Kamehameha thing, they fire it. Big old explosion, big old whoosh. I'm gonna draw this. Let's draw somewhere else. Refuse to give that guy any compliments. Not even he looks great in a jockstrap. Not jockstrap, what's it called? Codpiece, that's the one. Think you got it right first time, jockstrap. Okay.
This is a family-friendly show, Cresp.
It's family friendly. What better way to keep your future family safe than with a nice supportive jockstrap? Don't even want to know. He's wearing codpiece, basically. Yeah, it's just swishing and swooshing and slipping and sliding and all that good stuff. Or the goose is, anyway. Need a bigger shovel for the whole crisps digging. No, no, crisps digging? Sure. Yeah, I deserve that. Anyway. And then a fireball happens. It just like completely engulfs them. Big explosion. Kapow, kasplat, sploom. Kaboom, kaflunk. Kaplunk, kablamo. Kerblooey. Boom! Pew! Bang! Whiz and such. Who's fighting you again, Cheap? That's not in the rules. That's not how it works. Anyway, big old explosion happens. And then out the other side, Swan comes. Mr. Swan. Oh. With a little trickle of blood coming off his forehead. He's like, oh, you made me bleed. Good job. Wasn't expecting that. Good for you. Just some random trainer. Some rollout Marill didn't even get pumped enough XP to evolve. What if you fought a third time though? So yeah, he's very cocky about it and he's like, well, yeah, congratulate you, made me bleed. Good job. Good job, Queen Helga. Oh, how far you've come. So that didn't work. But Queen Helga, she's not out of ideas. But before that, a lot of things are happening in different places at this point, so I've got to try and do things in the order. We were all watching this from up above the tree, Simeon and such. And Princess Butterknife's like, oh god. You know, she sees the explosion. Potato cube. Potato flavored chunks food cube. It looks like balsa wood. That's not potato. That's balsa wood. Don't eat balsa wood, Doug. Yeah, we're all standing on like the tree trunk, and Princess Butterknife's looking down like, oh my god, my mum's in danger. And everyone's like, she's not really your mum. She's like, she is. I've got two mums. Deal with it. Your crew did write on the board that these taste vaguely of plastic. Yeah, I did see that. These taste of plastic. They all do. But the princess, sorry, not the princess. She's in disguise. She's not the princess. She's Princess Butterknife. Actually, at this point, she's probably not in disguise. But we like to keep up the pretense. She remembers something. She remembers something that was said earlier about this place, which is that this place. The reason we couldn't get into this place initially was because it was sealed by an Eidolon to contain another Eidolon. We got the one that was containing it when we broke the seal, but the princess is like, wait, hang on. If we can get the powerful one that was sealed in here, because it was too dangerous, maybe we can help. I don't know what's going to happen, but maybe we can help. And so she's like, hey, Betty, where was the thing? Where's the Eidolon? I was like, it's down there. It's down by the seashore. They're like, great, well, we're up on the top of a tree. This is not the ideal place to go get so we have a nice little sequence of us running down these tree roots as monsters chase us. Monsters made of mist. I will draw some of them because they are a recurring thing. With a big anime mouth. A little bit Charlie Brown. Mistles? I think they're called something like Mysterons. It's not Mysterons. Mysterons. Mysteroids. Mistodon. They're called Mistodon, like Mastodon, but mist. And they're kind of like... I don't really know how to... They look like Final Fantasy X before Final Fantasy X was the thing. It's the best way I can describe it. Blams! Blam 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 blams! Blam blams! Full sweep on that first tournament battle, time to save again! Yeah! Save scum that, like everyone does. It up lamps! Yeah. So yeah, they're like these weird... This is going to look like the Black Mages, but it's not really. It's like this sort of weird underbelly with like glowing lights that flash on and off. And big old, like, claws. Camps wrap themselves in a bigger blanket. Yeah. Yeah, I remember when I played it recently. I looked at it and I was like, "That's Final Fantasy X." Yeah, I guess I had to draw them because they're kind of like a mini boss. Oh wow, just immediate. No blankets anymore. Immediate re-evolution. Evolved into Lovn. That sort of adds to the face of the middle evolution, that it just sort of looks kind of sad, or sort of fed up. Because the only way to get it out of that mood is to be friends with it. Anyway, so these things, there's a bunch of these, they chase you down. Scary times. Immediately the next level, yeah? But one Pokemon was like, no more blanket, only friendship. What if both, though? The music stopped. So yeah, we run down to the bottom of the thing to try and find this Eidolon that might be able to save the queen. And we come to this statue. This old sort of moss-covered statue. And we release the Eidolon contained therein. We get its gemstone. And the princess is like, oh. Mines of Mora is on pre-purchase. Dwarf times are ahead. I have no memory of this game. But yeah, she unlocks. She gets a new Eidolon to help save her mother. Let's do this. Let's do this. Exciting times. Oh crap! It's Leviathan. Slight issue. Probably not the best thing to help save somebody when they're on the ocean. To have the big sea serpent. What makes tidal waves? There they are. So yeah, the last chance they thought they had to maybe help out here, turns out that's not going to work, because the only thing they can do is make tidal waves. And not helpful to save someone who's on a boat. All things considered. So our characters don't have anything to do. Whoops. And the only other summons I think we have that she can use at this point are Carbuncle, who has like the ability to just put up a barrier, which is, I guess, good help, but usually a barrier around the caster. And Ramu, who causes big old thunderstorms, which is not also helpful on the sea. Can't get out of your Dwemer yet. Need to beat your ultimate rival, the bug gym leader. Look at them showing off all their bugs. So anyway, yes, our characters are now basically rendered completely pointless in this cutscene. Or helpless is probably the best way of doing it. So the queen brings out her secret weapon. Guess what it is? Oh yes, it's an Eidolon. She's got loads of those. And she summons... Bahamut. Bahamut. How do you pronounce it? How do you pronounce Bahamut? Bahamut. Big old dragon. With horns coming out of his eyes for some reason. Barely won the second battle, but won. That's the important bit. Bug leader and an artist in your stupid pants that you love. Your ultimate rifle. Oh no. Save scumming again. Not save scumming, saving. If it's a mechanic in the game, it was intended. This guy's little arms. So the last time Queen summoned some things, she destroyed cities. And so now, big old dragon. Up against one person on a goose. Yeah. It probably looks cooler than this, but whatever. It is one of the butter knife summons. Yeah, so there we go. Yeah, and yeah, her plan is to do what she's always done: take out the summon, make it go boom. And just for scale, just give Bahamut scale here. Why not? I'm not entirely sure what the scale is because cutscenes. But I'm gonna say like that. Maybe. So big dragon. Ah, spooky. And as this is happening, big old storm clouds brew for this final confrontation of the two evil guys, I guess. So I guess we're not really that upset. And as Bahamut begins to charge, a big old Giga Flare or whatever it does, Mr. Swan looks at it and just nonchalantly goes, ha! Brushes hair aside. Flamboyantly. And looks up to the clouds above. solar beam. It's charging its solar beam. It takes a couple of turns to work, so... You know, if Mr. Swan can put up reflect or light screen or something. Oops. Go back. Go away, sidebar. You're not on stream. Seamless. Yes, he looks up into the clouds, raises his hand, and the clouds begin to part. And through the clouds we see a big ol' eyeball. Although this time, which is very reminiscent, as Butterknife's expression helps to indicate, very reminiscent of her flashback to when the storm happened when she was a child. What with the big eye in the sky. However, slightly different this time, because it's not just a big old evil eye in the sky, but it's got like a kind of little thing in it, like a little kind of like targeting reticule. Drugs are involved in the creative process, right? Nah. And the eye sets its sights on Bahamut and does a big old whoosh. There's a big old whoosh of purple light shimmering down on it. And Bahamut's like, ah! Bleh, bleh, this is weird. Ah. And the purple light whooshes around all of the ships and all that sort of stuff. Nothing's blowing up or anything. It's just this weird wibbly wobbly light that's happening. What's going on? Very strange. Everyone gets knocked over on the ships. And then we cut to not you. Get a clean slate for this. Get into the background for the sake of cleanliness. And then we cut to the Queen, looking up after being staggered over by the big purple light. And seeing the face of a big angry dragon. Staring right at her. You won! Ah, good job, Kiro. Kiro won the most difficult boss fight in the game. Everybody be proud. Applause. Pterodactyl screech. You got over your own personal market wall. Wee. Did you save? That's fine. Nothing important's happening now. So yeah. Turns out Bahamut not listening to her anymore. Is this Bahamut 0? I believe there's only one in this game. Final Fantasy 7 had 3. Just greedy, I think. Yeah, Bahamut turned tail and is now now a bit grumpy with the Queen, and the Queen is not particularly doesn't really know what to do. Not that she really has much of a choice. Because what happens now is Bahamut does a little bit of a breathy breath. And absolutely obliterates the entire armada. And that eyeball is still in the sky. Oh yeah, Bahamut, I'd love that for you. Yeah, FF7 had Bahamut, Neo Bahamut, and Bahamut Zero. I don't know why. Why not, frankly? I bet you keep saying just, like it's just Bahamut. One of the most powerful summonings in every game. Oh, it's just them. It's just them. They're no, you know, Garden of Eden or Knights of the Round. It's just Bahamut. So, yeah, that went well for the Queen. She got blown up. Kaboom! When you hear Bahamut, you think of the Little Legends of Chris Duggy. The Bahamut. E. They have like things taped to it, like knives or whatever. It's been a while. That used to be my favorite series. Because I don't know if you noticed, I love taking the piss out of these games. Yee. Cool. And then, just as quickly as it arrived, it disappears, the eyeball in the sky, as indeed does Bahamut, because summons don't last forever. And we're left with a very nice, quiet scene of debris floating on the water, and Mr. Swan swanning off on his goose to wherever the hell he goes next. So that was fun. And so with our queen defeated, our story ends. The next two discs are a rhythm game. Honestly, I have often said, if you restructured like with boss fights and things, this is not a terrible place to end. Story doesn't get better from here. Debris floating on the water. But one thing that is floating on the water is like an escape pod, I guess. Like a little capsule. Bug leader check, artist check, dumb pants that you want check. Ultimate rival. Look at them. They look like they taste like rhubarb. You remember what happens in the game where you are now and you're shutting up. You've done the card game. That's the highlight of that part of the game. Nothing else could possibly happen. more than a decade since you last saw this bit, and you might as well, I remember this now. Yes, so it turns out that the Queen had a little like escape pod in case things went wrong, but it's not going to help when you get blowed up in the face. So she is very much dying. She's just sort of laying there on the beach. Top hat all askew. You bob off somewhere else. Because the princess is here. She made her way down. And they have a little heart-to-heart, little final, you know, hey, why did you do this, etc., etc. And the Queen saying, I was overcome with a powerful greed, but now I'm free from it. Finally, I feel happy again. Something, something. Something like that. You know the gist. And the princess is very, very, very upset because, well, she just found out that this isn't her real mother, or this isn't her biological mother, and her biological mother presumably died in a storm 10 years ago. And now her adoptive mother's just died, or is dying. So she's kind of lost two mothers in a day. How was she not atomized? JRPG reasons. But the Queen says to her, you know, hey, you're the Queen now. You be a good Queen. You be better than I ever was. Return to Alexandria. Look after the people like I didn't. They need you right now. Yeah. And then she dies. It's alright. A slight difficulty caring for Ms. Genocide, but rival overcome! Third badge. Dwebble, here you come. Get Dwebble. Dwebble is cute. Is Shuckle a bug? It should be. But yeah, we get this moment. It's sad for Butterknife, because like I say, she's sort of lost... kind of felt like she's lost two mums in a day. Not great. Yeah, her death doesn't hit hard after she did. You're supposed to feel sorry for the princess. It was only a little genocide as a treat. Only a couple. Only a couple of destroyed cities. Okay, a few, but you know. And then there. You know. And the antagonist is dead, and the story ends there. Yeah, I think it's remarked, like, the other characters are, like, on the beach down here, just sort of looking up and going, you know. We don't feel much for the Queen, but Princess is going through it right now. Shuckle is a bug. Yee. Nice. You get a Shuckle, maybe, if the game has them. And you want them. I might as well draw this because we're at a good stopping point. I think. Oh, I know what we could do. I know what we could do. In order to expedite the next part of the story. Well, I'm going to have to remember who's involved. Do you really want to double? Because honestly, this is the only answer you're going to have to your actual rival in the game who has a fire starter. Twisted fire starter. Chuckle's a rug? What? Chuckle's not a rug. They're a cute friend. And the answer to fire types is scoliosis rollout, which is not ideal. Lamb's got 69 HP. Nice. The others are there as well. There's Quimch. Quimch is having a swimch. Quimch is having a good time. This doesn't involve food. That's not their deal. I imagine also Knuckles is probably complaining about the fact he's not going to get paid now. Betty is a 6-year-old, so... I mean, a 6-year-old who lost her grandpa, so maybe she does understand a little bit, but yeah. Oh no, one thing we could do, last thing we could draw here, makes sense. We cut forward to back in Alexandria. We've returned to the main continent. Arduous journey back. Presumably, I don't know. We just cut. And we cut to the princess. Laying down a wreath at the memorial for the queen. Because even though she was a genocidal maniac who destroyed multiple cities, the people still seem fond of her for some reason. Is that trainer still fighting you? Oh, like a bug or something? Pokemon breeder Irene. Come on, Irene! Come on, Irene, and your dumb drill bird. And I'm good with syllables. So yes, we cut forwards. We're back in Alexandria. We're back in the kingdom. She's not. Princess Butterknife is. I guess not technically yet queen, but certainly gonna be. So So she's not in disguise anymore. She's not doing her whole Moogle outfit, which is a shame because that's much easier to draw. And she's laying a wreath down at the memorial to her adoptive mother. That's definitely where your hand is, isn't it? Artistic license, stretchy arms. Now never bother me again, Irene. Jura Lura Luraye? No, that's a different song. Is that a different song? No, that's Swords of a Thousand Men. That's Tenpole Tudor. I'm getting my late 70s, early 80s British songs mixed up. Colress, why do we have to fight? Who's Colress? But also, joining her in this little... It's a little sort of garden thing. It's not a huge... Like, it's not in the middle of the town square or anything. She is joined by her faithful knights. And so long I've forgotten how to draw them. James, good to see his damn face. He survived. He didn't die in the thing. No one said he did. We just haven't seen him for bloody ages. I've also just remembered that Jesse's sword is called... Is it called Save the Queen or God Save the Queen or something? That didn't work out for you, did it? Science dude is a steel specialist. So you can imagine what you think fighting him is annoying. You have to go back to the Pokemon Center, which means you're gonna have to fight Irene again. So yeah, they're here, as indeed is Professor Pretty Prison, advisor to the princess, soon queen. And I guess I could tell you now, while we're here, while I'm drawing Professor Pretty Prison, he does reveal that yes, indeed, she did arrive, Princess Butterknife did arrive on a raft 10 years ago when she was very young. Didn't remember anything of what happened because of trauma. And it did have a horn. And they just cut it off. Because the Queen had, not too long ago, I believe, lost a daughter. And so they were like, the heavens have given us a new daughter. So you will now be the daughter. Zoraloralda. The original Zoraloralda died. And was replaced by Butterknife. So yeah, they just cut off the horn. But who somehow looked a lot like Butterknife. Yeah, it's just a coincidence. God damn it, Irene. I think Irene's your real rival now. Poor Drillbur and Meryl. They don't want this. You can't escape Irene. Yeah, come on, Irene. It's actually Irene saying come on. Come on, one more time. Wait, hold on. She keeps giving you money. Oh, infinite money farm. I'm holding on. Because that's all I'm drawing today. They cut a horn. There was not an indication she had one before. There wasn't a stump. They did a very good cut, I guess. Yeah, but this wasn't a Kamari job. Hornless. Yeah, they managed to they got it right down to the skull, I guess. That's dumb. After everything that's happened in this story, that's dumb. Willing suspension of disbelief for the purposes of a fantasy story. Magical healing. To heal over the wound. If you cut off an animal's horn, does it regrow? This is just hair, right? Well, no, there's a bone middle. I don't know. It plucked it out like a hair. Yeah, just went. I got a tweezer and went. So yeah, we've now returned. We have returned from the outer continent back to Alexandria. The princess will become queen and will return to her duties there, and everybody else returns to their normal lives, and nothing else happens in the story. Hope you enjoyed Final Fantasy IX. It was great, wasn't it? Lovely time. Magically heal the horn, it will grow back. Depends on the magic. Yes, animal horns regrow. Well, we've managed to prove the butter knife is not an animal. Hey, Quimch. Come on, Dez, I'll give you Dwebble. Get Dwebble! What are you going to call him? Dunno. Good name. D-U-N-N-O-W. But yeah, that is the end of Disc 2 of Final Fantasy IX. A 2-disc game. No, it's got 4 discs, but we're basically 2/3 of the way through. I think. Because a lot of Disc 3, I seem to remember, is just like going to a place and doing a dungeon, and there's a bit of... some story happens, but then we just move to the next place. That's dumb. Suspension of disbelief around. We're not suspending disbelief about... we're fine suspending disbelief about the fact that this child just happened to turn up who looked a lot like the dead child that they just lost. Dwebble spotted! A spotted Dwebble. Ooh, fancy. Le Gasp. Oh, sorry, that wasn't a gasp, that was a yawn. Dr. Yogurt. So, yes, that was that. Hope you enjoyed. We will continue with Disc 3 next week. It's going to start with a bit of a weird change of tone, but that's fine. Dwebble caught! Da 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 da! Dwebble gobbled. Cobbled? What do you call Dwebble? Dwayne. I don't know. I just like Dwebble. Oh, I changed things in OBS. Now everything's just a bit of a mess. Clickety-click, click-clack, whoop. There we go. So that's the stream. I will be back tomorrow morning with some doodling. Maybe making another parsnip for another game, because we finished Octodad yesterday. Bricktop. Call it Bricktop. Oh yeah, because it turns into Crustle, doesn't it? Sedimentary, my dear Watson. I don't know. Thanks for the good stream. I hope you enjoyed. Bricktop, the Dwebble, it fits perfectly. They got little claws, they can cut up body parts. Howl because they move their castle? Yeah, look at that works. Bricktop. Yay! Bricktop the Dwebble. They need someone called... They need an equivalent Pokemon in your rival's team called Nemesis. Snatch Watch Party wear. Crustler's very angry, so that fits. I want to make quotes, but you know, we tend not to have that sort of language on the stream. But yes, so yeah, I'll be back tomorrow morning to do probably make a parsnip for the next game we're playing, and maybe finish off either working on Pero and Mira's house for Ravenvale or the Picture of Carrie we started yesterday. We also have tomorrow evening a Chibi Nethers Day. I assume we're going to be playing more new Tales from the Borderlands because that's going so well. God, you loved the last chapter. So it's the cliffhanger that was there is just keeping me on tenterhooks. New Tales from the Borderlands. Yeah. And then I'll be back Saturday morning to do some Muzak. Hold on. Have you thought of more issues? Twitch or YouTube will demonetize you if you say that particular word. Personified in this instance. You just got bad people, bad jokes too. I thought you already had that. Give us a joke. Give us a space joke. Coke to Coke. What?
Knock knock.
Who's there? I feel like the tension adds to the humor. Broken sword. Broken sword who? 3. Broken sword 3. What? What's happening? I'm lost. Now stream be like. That's Twitch. That's Twitch's end, not mine. I said broken sword who? Yes. Knock knock. Who's there? Broken sword. Broken sword who? Oh, never mind. It's pointless. Jokes. And on that note, we'll leave you be. Have a lovely time, everybody. Hopefully it cools down for you soon. Apparently it won't for me, but hopefully it will for you. Have a good one, everyone. Stay cool. Get drinks. Why don't pterodactyls eat clowns? Oh, they taste funny. Aha! Got that one. Bye!